Hey mama, I'm Ashley, and this is the Maverick Mompreneur podcast, where you're free and encouraged to own your desire to create and scale an impactful, discoverable online brand and business in the midst of motherhood. A business that's aligned with your mission, lifestyle desires, personality, and zone of genius without wasting your time on the hustle and grind hamster wheel that is social media. Can I get an amen? Sis, you are a maverick, an original, willing to stand out in your authenticity, defy expectations, and do life and business outside the box. In our world, if it's not aligned with who we are, it's a hard pass or a brave pivot. So if you're here for the powerful identity shift and transformation from boss babe or boss mom to aligned CEO, building a one-of-a-kind, influential, hustle-free online business that will produce long-term impact and multiple streams of income through SEO, affiliate marketing, and courses while building yourself in the process, well, pop in those AirPods, grab that cup of coffee or glass of wine, and let's get growing. Hello. Ashley here, your host of the Maverick Mompreneur podcast, back with episode 80. I'm really excited about this episode, actually. And ironically, I just had to turn off my high frequency dopamine boosting music. And I just came back in from a walk out in nature. I'm not kidding. I really do practice what I preach. And the reason that's relevant to today's episode is that we are going to be chatting about brain activation and how that can help you to stay productive, to feel really good, to achieve your goals, and all of those great things that we want as content creators, influencers, online business owners, etc. You've probably heard the phrase before, or if you haven't, you're about to. The better you feel, the more money you make. And before you roll your eyes at me too hard, I hope that I can make a case for why I believe that that can be absolutely true. So we're going to be diving into the world of dopamine and brain arousal and exploring some practical ways that you can boost those dopamine levels to help you stay activated, super productive in your business, and experience growth of all kinds. So we're going to dive into it. But before I do, I wanted to share with you about a challenge that is actually perfectly aligned to this content called Activate. So this is a 30-day challenge where I am going to be holding you accountable to complete tasks that are actually designed to elevate your energy, ignite your productivity, and accelerate your business growth. And this is the exact protocol I use anytime that I'm in a launch, at least a launch that's gone well. I know that you already know that as an online entrepreneur, creating content that holds your audience's attention can be kind of daunting or intimidating, especially as we're running up to what we refer to as the summer slump. But don't worry, because this challenge is going to keep you activated in both your energy and productivity so that you can continue creating content with ease and flow and run into summer and experience growth versus stagnation during that time. So basically, without going into full detail, because you can check out more information at www.elevatedwithashley.com/activate. This challenge is going to be 30 days. It starts May 18th for this round. I'm sure I'll run this again. I've been meaning to do this forever. It's $77, which is a steal, especially considering that those who sign up for the challenge before the 12th of May, 2023 will also be getting my mini course, Elevate Your Mindset, which gives you 3 different personal development trainings to listen to that will help you elevate your mindset. Yes, you guessed it. And then what we're going to be doing for the 30 days is holding ourselves accountable for 3 things. There's more to it than this, but basically it is getting in a mile per day, whether that's walking, pacing your house, running, however you want to do it, reading 3 pages and or listening to at least 5 minutes of something that inspires you, so personal development, and creating 1 piece of content daily. So I have specifications for what this means, but you're going to be having fun with creating your content and you're going to have accountability to do all of these things. It's also going to be a great networking opportunity as you're going to get to engage with other online entrepreneurs who really want to stay high vibe, have fun with their content, have fun with their audience, feel good, and build in simple but really powerful habits that are going to boost dopamine and therefore their productivity, energy, and business growth. So if that sounds good to you, you can snag a spot. Again, it's elevatedwithashley.com/activate. Don't miss out on this. This is going to be a great way to just run into summer, develop some great habits, and be feeling your best. All right, so let's get into this. This isn't going to be a super long episode because I am not a neuroscientist by any means, but I do know that this works. This has absolutely been the key. Actually, key is the wrong word. I would say this has been the foundation for my success in business. And I have not always been perfect with this, and I can definitely pinpoint when I have been off of focusing on maintaining my best energy. I can see the results in my business. As content creators, it's so important for us to be able to stay focused and motivated. There's no one that's the boss of you, that's plopping you down and making you do your work. So for you, your job as the CEO of your business is to make sure that you can stay motivated and focused. And you can't just sit down in front of the computer typically and force yourself to work in your best energy possible, at your most creative. Because again, in today's environment, your edge is going to be you being yourself, you being at your most creative, showing up in your best energy possible to capture that attention that you need from your audience in order to create sales. If you can have your audience's attention, you can have their sales, but you're not going to have to keep their attention if you're just like blah, blah, you're not in your best energy. So dopamine is what plays a crucial role in this area. And I'm going to read you like a definition. So dopamine influences our reward system and pleasure sensation, which can boost our mood and motivation. Additionally, dopamine, which is a chemical in our brain, is linked to concentration, memory, and even sleep. So this is a super important part of keeping our brain aroused. So what are some ways that we can boost dopamine and therefore our brain arousal? So there's lots of ways that you can incorporate this throughout your day and week. And I really encourage you to schedule in these things like they are part of your workday. This is what made a huge turning point for me in early 2021. I started to literally schedule in my workouts or walks. I now have on my calendar every day, every work day, to read and reflect. So read something that's going to inspire me and reflect upon it. And honestly, usually that's about 3 minutes. I don't take a ton of time, but it is a ritual because I know what it does to activate my brain and to activate that dopamine that has me feeling good. Other things that you can do and schedule into your calendar, engaging in any type of physical activity. So this can be working out, this can be walking, this can be stretching, socializing with friends. So meeting up for coffee, going out to dinner, trying something new. So something novel and new. That's also a way to activate your dopamine. Listening to high frequency music, consuming inspiring content. All of these things are ways that you can boost your dopamine levels, which is going to help you to stay motivated and engaged with what you're working on. So like I said before recording this episode, I knew that I wanted to show up for you today in my best energy. And I've been working all day. It's 2:30 now, and I've been working since this morning. And so I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go activate my dopamine and boost my motivation and my energy. And so I took a brisk, almost 2-mile walk, and here I am, and I'm feeling great. Now, does this work every day? Are we absolutely in perfect mental health where we can just tip the balance over into optimal brain mode? No, not always. But over time, these little habits add up to big results. Okay, so let's talk about the connection between dopamine and your productivity. Interestingly enough, there's actually research that shows that dopamine is closely linked to the ability to make money. So there was a study conducted at Vanderbilt University that found that individuals who had higher dopamine activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is where dopamine is active, apparently, they were more likely to accumulate financial assets over time. The researchers found that these individuals were more willing to take risks, which allowed them to earn higher returns on their investments. And additionally, higher levels of dopamine were linked to greater motivation to work and earn money, which ultimately led to higher levels of financial success. So this study suggests that dopamine plays a significant role in the ability to make money, which for us as content creators and online entrepreneurs highlights the importance of maintaining those higher dopamine levels if we're wanting to achieve financial success. If we want to stay at the top of our creative game, this is really, really important. So I don't care how you do it, although I kind of care how you do it. That's why I made the Activate Challenge. But please, please, please try this out. Do one of these strategies for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, year, and tell me it doesn't change your capacity to stay engaged with what you're working on. I love listening to high frequency music while I work. I really like, there's YouTube channels that have high frequency music. I like the 528HZ channels, and some of them are about 7 hours long. So you just put it on, you barely notice it, but you notice that you're just chugging along with your work. There's also in Spotify, there's lots of playlists that are high frequency song playlists. When you're working, if you don't get distracted by music, try that out and see how that does for your productivity. For me, that's really huge. And music is a huge part of what boosts my creativity. And apparently that is from dopamine. Oh, by the way, side note, I've gotten really into dopamine in the brain because I read a book called The Molecule of More. It's really good. So if you're interested in this and you want like a deeper dive, read The Molecule of More. Really, really interesting. And maybe that can be your inspirational 5 minutes a day. Anyway, in conclusion, as a personal brand, someone who is creating content that represents that personal brand, someone who is showing up as themselves and obviously wanting to show up as the best version of themselves for that day, you're the most important asset to your business. And so sometimes when we look at our workday and we think, oh my gosh, I don't have time to be taking this 20-minute walk, or I don't have time to go down to the gym and work out for an hour and come back. Make the time, because at the end of the day and at the end of the year, and the cumulative effect of all of these choices to boost your dopamine, to take care of yourself so that you can show up in your best energy, will totally pay off in spades over any time that you may save. Now, of course, there's going to be times when you're absolutely in a time crunch and there's some sort of time deadline over your head and you can't make that decision. But I know I used to feel really guilty and almost as if I could either be successful in business or I could take care of my health. And it's not either or. One definitely leads to the other and vice versa. So to sum it up, activating dopamine through movement, consuming inspiring content, listening to high frequency music, and more are all powerful ways for us as online entrepreneurs and content creators to stay motivated, engaged, and productive in what we're doing and capture and hold, therefore, the attention of our audience. So I hope that by incorporating some of these activities into your workday and your daily routine, that you too can keep your dopamine levels high and maintain that creative edge over other people who maybe are not focusing in on that. So until the next episode, cheers to your impact. Cheers to keeping those dopamine levels high. And if you would like to register for the 30-day challenge to hold you accountable to do so, you can hit the link in the show notes or head to elevatedwithashley.com/activate. Talk to you next week. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. My goal is to help as many women in business online as possible to build strong, powerful, aligned, and profitable personal brands. The best way to show you appreciate this content is to screenshot and share on your social media or share with your team. Actually, even better would be to also leave a review for the podcast on whichever platform you're listening on. If you're looking for any additional support, you can always reach me via email at hello hello at elevatedwithashley.com. You can DM me on Instagram at Ashley R. Latimer, or join us in the free Elevate Academy for Brand Building, Maverick Marketers, and Mompreneurs Facebook community. Can't wait to chat with you next week.